Hello everyone. Today I will introduce you to the film Safari released in 1956. Terence Young released Safari, an adventure movie that blended colonial-era stories with action scenes and exotic locations. It starred Victor Mature as a vengeful hunter, Ken Duffield, and Leigh as his fiancee's friend, Linda Latham. The movie follows a group of people on a safari in Africa looking for a legendary lion called Hatari. While the movie has great visuals and gives off a mid-century charm, it doesn't really stand out with its story. It's just another typical adventure movie from that era. The film starts off with a pretty intense Mau Mau attack on Duffield's farm, which sets up his personal grudge against the rebels who killed his family. That's a cool way to start things off, and it really builds up some tension and motivation. But the emotional depth of the story is kind of shallow. Then there's this expedition that Duffield leads for Sir Vincent Brampton, played by Roland Culver. It's kind of a backdrop for all the human conflicts and wildlife encounters in the movie. The story itself is pretty straightforward and predictable. It relies more on action scenes than character development. But that's okay. Visually, the film is really cool. It was shot in Kenya, and the cinematography is amazing. All those landscapes and African settings are so breathtaking. But then there are some studio-bound scenes that feel a bit dated and not as immersive. The colors are really vibrant, though, especially in the Maasai lion hunt scene. That was one of the best parts of the movie. Victor Mature does a great job playing the tough hunter, at least on the outside. But behind the scenes, there are reports that he was hesitant to fully commit to the physically demanding filming in Africa. He refused to go into a crocodile-infested river without safety guarantees. But despite that, he brings a strong presence to the character. Leigh is amazing as Linda, glamorous, confident, and arguably the most captivating character in the movie. Her performance makes the movie more interesting even when the story isn't very deep. The biggest downside for modern audiences is probably the depiction of animal cruelty in the lion hunt scenes. While it was probably meant to add realism and excitement back in 1956, it can be hard to watch now. Also, while the Mau Mau rebellion adds historical context, the portrayal of the rebel leader by Earl Cameron feels underdeveloped and doesn't fit with his usual sympathetic on-screen persona. The movie's pace is pretty fast, and there's enough action to keep you engaged. But the romance part feels a bit forced and unnecessary. The soundtrack is great, and that Swahili melody that influenced Western pop music later on is really cool. Overall, Safari is an okay, but not particularly memorable adventure movie from the 50s. It shows the fascination with Africa and hunting big game, but it's not too deep. It's worth watching if you like classic movies, but it doesn't leave a lasting impression.
Look for all the most delicious things by following the link in the comments.